Good morning, children. Welcome back to Class 4, English, Lesson 8, Chips, Part 2. In Part 1, we have already discussed about the lesson, and you all know that the family members were going to make something new from the potatoes which was given to them by the army people who had occupied their country. Let us start the story. Those soldiers made a big fuss for this, the youngest child said thoughtfully. Boiled potatoes are not so special, said the eldest. That's when the grown ups started worrying. Let's add some herbs, said Grandma, putting some into the pot. And a few mushrooms, said Grandpa. Of course, cried Mother, and sent the children to the forest to collect the juiciest mushrooms and berries. When they returned, everyone added just a few more ingredients and then a few more and a few more, still until they made a pot of a delicious smelling stew. The sumptuous smell wafted around the little kitchen. The children's bellies rumbled and their eyes grew wide with hunger. Now, what happened as grandmother started to boil the potatoes? There was a fuss between the children. Fuss means an unnecessary show of excitement or interest shown by the little children who were at home. That made the elders to worry. And now grandmother told that they are going to add some more ingredients. Ingredients means items used to make a dish, and they told that they will add mushrooms and the herbs into it, and they sent the children to bring those mushrooms and the herbs, and they won't. And at last what happened, they mixed all the ingredients into the pot, and a delicious stew started to cook. Stew means a dish cooked with vegetables and water in a closed pot, and it started to Stumptuous means delicious, and wafted means passed gently through the air. A delicious smell of the stew rumbled. Rumbled means made a low and deep sound because of hunger. There was a noise from the children's stomach. Bellies means stomach. Why? Because they were all hungry. When can we eat? They asked. When the soldiers leave, said Mother, covering the pot with a lid so that the smell would not tempt them. Just then there came a knock at the door. It was 12 noon. Sit still, Mother whispered to the children, and hide the peelings for our soup. Then she opened the door and invited the soldiers to sit at the table in the little kitchen. The family watched the soldiers as Mother carried the pot from the fire to the table. The fair haired soldier took some rare bread from his pocket and tore off chunks to share with his friends. What if they don't like it? What will they do? The family wondered. Mother lifted the lid from the pot. The soldiers both stared in disbelief as she ladled the pot broth into their bowls. Now, what happened? The children were very hungry. They started to ask when to eat the thing what we have done. Till then, mother told that no, no, you can't eat it now. You have to wait for the soldiers to leave the place. After they finish their lunch, only then we can have. Till then, they heard the knock at the door. It was sharp 12 o'clock, and the soldiers came to have their lunch. Mother told the children to sit still without making any noise and hide the potatoes peels for the soup. And she opened the door and she showed a table, small table in the little kitchen to sit for the soldiers. Now the family watched the soldiers very carefully. Mother took the pot to the table. Till then, what happened? Ray bread. A soldier took a ray bread. Ray bread means a dry bread made with ray flour. And what did he do? He made chunks, means he made big pieces of that bread to share with his friend. Now the family is wondering what will they do with the potato which was boiled. Mother lifted the lid and what did she do? She ladled. Ladled means served the soup with a long spoon having a cup shaped bowl. So she served the soup to the soldiers who were sitting with the bread. What is this? Cried the soldiers. We want chips. The children looked on worried as mother explained. This is how we cook chips. These aren't chips, the dark haired soldiers shouted. Sit down, the fair haired soldier interrupted. I am hungry. Let's at least try this. And he lifted his spoon, gently blowing so that the steam curled around his hands. The potatoes were hot. What if they are too hot? Grandpa shuddered. At last, the fair haired soldier put the spoon to his mouth and slopped. Well, as the dark haired soldier, the fair haired soldier spat the potatoes all over the table. What is this swill? He shouted, his face twisted in anger. He got up from the table and hoisted his rifle across his shoulder. As the soldiers saw the soup, now they started to shout. The dark haired soldier started to shout and he asked that we want chips. These are not the chips. What you're pouring is not a chips here. Till then, mother explained that no. This is the way how we are making chips here in this country. Till then, the fair haired soldier asked, interrupted means he stopped his friend by saying something. He told that I'm very hungry. Let us try what they have done. If this is a chips in this place, let us try out what they have done. And now the potatoes are very hot. Now grandfather told that what happened if the potatoes are very hot? Means he shuddered, means he trembled with fear. Now the grandfather is afraid and he is telling that, ayo, if the potatoes are very hot, now what to do? Till then, what happened? The fair-haired soldier slowly slumped. Slumped means drank with a loud sucking noise. He made a noise. He like sucking the noise. How slucking noise he did. And now what happened? Well, asked the dark-haired soldier. Now what happened? The dark-haired soldier is asking, how is it? Now the fair-haired soldier spat the potatoes over the table. Spat means he threw the food out of the mouth with force. Means the food was thrown out. The potatoes were thrown out. What is this swill? Swill means food with an unusual and unpleasant taste. He didn't like the taste of the potatoes. He spat it out. And now he's asking, yo, what is this? It's not at all tasty. He got up from the table and hoisted his rifle across the shoulder. Now, suddenly, with a bad taste, what he did, he pulled the table and he got up and he hoisted. Hoisted means pulled something up with some difficulty while standing straight. So he pulled out a rifle. Mother stepped back in fear. The children covered. I'm sorry, said mother, moving away from the table. It is our favorite recipe. Favorite recipe? It is swill, he repeated, almost laughing. Come on, the dark haired soldier called to his friend. Let's leave. People here don't even know how to cook chips. Ha! And with that, they both walked out of the house laughing to themselves. The children waited, noses pressed to the kitchen window, watching them go. When they were sure the soldiers would not return, they added the potato peels to the pot along with more herbs for extra flavor and cooked it up. They dunked big chunks of the soldiers' rye bread into the steamy stew until their tummies were full. It was the most wonderful stew they had ever tasted. Now, what happened? As the soldiers were very angry, they stepped out of the house. They threw everything. They said that these people they don't know how to cook chips, and their whatever they cooked, the soup is very swill, means it is a food with an unusual and unpleasant taste. They didn't like the taste, and what they did, they thought of not coming back, and they told that they don't even know how to cook the chips, and they both walked out of the house laughing for themselves. And now the children were waiting in the kitchen window and watch the soldiers going away from the house. As the soldiers went away from the house, they ran, they added the potato peels into the pot along with the extra herbs and to give the flavor, to get taste and smell to the food what they were cooking. And they dunked big chunks of the soldiers' bread. Dunked means they dipped the bread into the soup and they had the soup until their tummies were full. It was the most wonderful stew that they had ever tasted. Hopefully, all have understood the lesson and all have understood how to make a soup, right? Thank you.